Hello my beautiful people, you're welcome back to today's tutorial. How are you all doing? So guys, now just like learn how to draft under bust inbuilt corset. So in this video we'll be having part 2 of it, which is the stitches. So let's quickly get started. And with yoke, okay, so the shoulder slope is 1 inch because it's net that we're working with. So the bust point is 10.5, under bust is 14 inches, waist is 17 inches. For those that will be working with just gown, that have bodies with gown, so you add 1 inch as your same allowance, okay. But mine is an inbuilt, so I'm going to extend it above my waistline. So I'll be adding it up much later. So for better understanding, let's quickly connect the lines with our straight row. Okay. So the armhole depth is your shoulder divided by 2, which is 16, 2 is 8. So we'll connect with our straight row this way. So this is now our new chest line. Extend the lines. And please, if you are new to this channel, kindly subscribe, okay? Like, share. So this is it. So now to place our neck width is 3 inches. The neck depth is 3.5 inches. Okay, so connect this well. So we have to quickly find the midpoint of our armhole depth. So go in by 0.5 inch, 0.5, 7 inch, or 1 inch. So what depends on your preference. Mine went in with just 0.7 inch. So it's time to place our bust band, that is our nipple to nipple. So whatever we're working here, guys, we won't add same allowance. Okay, we're adding dual transferring to our fabric for better understanding for the sake of the beginners. So this video is beginner friendly. Yes. So this is it. So now let's quickly label it. Excuse me. Waist under bust line. So I'll quickly place my hemming now. So I have 20. So for the first one, for under bust is 14. You see, our body is 17. So I have 22. You could decide to work with 23, 24, or depending on your preference. So mine with 20, I'm okay with 22 inches. Okay. So this is it. So this is our hem line. Okay. So this is it. So this is our bust point. So now we have to quickly find our bust radius. So if you're following me, you should know this by now. The distance from your bust point to your under bust is 3.5 inches. So you place it, you have to now extend the dot line as well to our straight row this way. So what we place our dot, okay? So before then, we have to place our waist dot. Whatever we place in our waist dot, we'll extend it to the hemline. Yes. So now we have to quickly place the waist dart and also the new chest line. Okay. So 1 inch on each piece, that is 2 inches waist dart. So note this under bust and is under bust inbuilt corset. So pay attention. So this is it for those that are working with our bodies. Okay, you end this way. So if it's back's waistline, you just connect from your waistline to the back's extension. Okay, all depend on your preference, but it's still the same method. So I make it straight. Okay, just 1 inch to the hemline. So from the bust point, you step down by an half inch, but if it's a plus size, step down by 1 inch. So connect with our cover. Okay, this way to blend it to that and half inch that will step down from our bust point. So blend it properly. This is not my marker. It is 1 inch. So for the new chest line, which is our bust radius, you place 1 inch. For towards the armhole, I always add an half inch. So by the time you finish stitching, you have a straight dart. So blend it as well to that and half inch that will step up width from the bust point. As you can see, it has taken the form already. So to indicate it, to ensure that we have the 3.5 inches. Okay, so that our bows will not be exposed. So you could decide to work with deep neck line. Though I've done the video, I'll be dropping a link as well. But this is that deep neckline bustier. So you that also make deep neckline there. So for the armhole, you that to go in step down, sorry, by an half inch. Okay, all depend on your preference. So for the neck depth is optional as well. So let's quickly now find our neck depth. So from the bust point, I step up just 2.5 inches. You have to work with 1 inch. You have to connect directly your bust line. All depend how deep you want your neck line to be. That your sweetheart neckline. So excuse me. So I'm connecting it straight to my armhole, but I was plain both. Okay. So you blend it this way. Make sure you blend it properly. You can see. So for those that will be stepping down, you place your cover this way. Make sure you blend it properly. So you can see your yoke is already now. You can see how beautiful it is. So it's optional. So you like to step down by an half inch. So for the neck depth, I said earlier, you have to work with 1 inch, 1.5 inches, that is from your bust point. So the dot lines for those that be working with 1.5 inches. So you have to step down to the under bust. But note, whatever you're placing inbuilt in, the knot is into fold. By the time you open up, you have times 2 of it. So you have to be very careful in case you don't want to expose your bows. So for the darts now, we have to quickly indicate this way, which will be going off. Yes, we are not making use of this, which will be replacing it. Okay, that is that replacement. So now we have to quickly place our body measurement. So the bust point is 42 to 4 part is 10.5 inches. So under bust is 8.5 inches. So the waistline is 9 inches. Okay. So my hemming, excuse me, is 9.5 inches. So connect this way. For a better understanding, I'll be replacing the darts allowance, but first we have to connect this. So connect it this way. Excuse me. So extend it. So for you're stepping down, extend it this way as well. So you can see how beautiful it looks already. So now it's time to replace our dart allowance. So it's total of 2 inches. Okay. So I'll place it this way. Place it 2 inches. So for the chest line, you have to add 0.5 inch, but I don't add that part. Okay. So you connect it this way. See, blend it this way as well. Because I need to ignore the chest line that replacement by connecting it straight to your standard body measurements. That is the bust measurement. So extend the lines as well, so you can see. So now is our dart replacement. So same allowance will be adding to white transferring to our fabric for better understanding. So we have to now create our under bust inbuilt corset. So Decide to create a more dart line for your boning. So if you are placing that, make sure you add the dart replacement. Just find the midpoint like what I'm doing, guys. Okay, because this first dart is what you have as a DR. So whatever you place in, make sure you place it, or just create a channel for your boning and connect it straight this way, the dots line, okay, to insert your bone to give you that structure. So this is our yoke part for the front panel. So let me quickly place it the back panel. I'll show you guys. So you can see what you have. So I have to quickly cut it out this way first. So I want to quickly cut it to the back armhole before tracing it out. Okay. So no seam allowance here. So this is it. So I've placed it on the back piece now with our back panel. So in this tutorial, I'll be explaining both for those that will prefer to work with zipper or loops. So zipper allowance is 2 inches. So I want you to trace the back panel before cutting it out. Place 2 inches. Connect with your straight rule. This is our zipper allowance. Okay. So you place it this way. So note is back panel. So we just meeting our shoulder to our waist and our hemline. Okay. So see what we have. Note we added 2 inches dart replacement, but the back panel is just going to be 1 inch. So we'll be cutting out 1 inch. But let's quickly put it outside. So just chest line, shoulder, chest line, waist, and a hemline because it's back panel. So let's quickly cut out this. That is the armhole for the front panel. Because I'm through tracing it out. Okay. So cut this way, but you're working with it a 1/2 inch in, you cut it that way as well. Okay. So you cut it this way. But before then, let me explain for those be working with deep neck under bust inbuilt corset. So place an 1/2 inch. By the time you open it up, you'll be having 1 inch in between your bows. So find the bust radius to ensure that you won't expose your bows. So this is it. Actually, I've done detailed video deep neck bustier. So I will be dropping the link. So you decide to step down from your bust line or under bust. So the deep neckline is optional, okay? Don't forget that. So for the dart, for the chest line, you know I added an 1/2 inch for the under bust 2 inches, okay? So I will subtracting that an 1/2 inch. So I will cut it straight to the under bust, okay? Because it's just 2 inch. But if you note under that is the bust line, there is no dart replacement. Just cut it straight to make it snatch when you're through. So this I should look like. So guys, let's quickly cut out our under bust bustier. So this is it. Okay. So advise you create a casing to insert boning to give you that structure. Decide to work with 8 years. That into foot 4. Just create a casing. So this part is optional. So quickly indicate this is the center front and the side front. Please ignore my marker. So arrow to know the hemming parts. Okay. So this is how it should look like. So decide to create a casing. But if it's that you are placing, you have to add DR. That is the dart replacement. So this is how it should look like. So next thing to do is to cut out the yoke. Sorry, the dart for the bust part. cut it out this way. But while transferring to our fabric, we'll be adding a seam allowance all through, including the yoke. So for the deep neckline, I'm working the second one, which the one that I stepped upward from the bust point with 1.5 inches. So you cut this way, okay? Quickly label it as well, center front and the side front. Though this cup is not that confused because it's just bustier. So if you're working with the direct your armhole, this is how you should cut it out. I'm working with direct my armhole. So you can see how beautiful it looks. This is our yoke. So for a deep neck, you can try to extend it. Okay. So this is how it should look like. Half inch around and the size seam allowance. Add whatever you can maintain with while stitching. So this is all for the front panel. So guys, see, so though the deep neck line is very beautiful, yes. So for the back panel guys, let's quickly put the front panel aside. You can see we have traced it out. I've explained to you guys, for those that would prefer to work with zipper, and if you decide to work with loops, I'll explain in both. Well, mine is loops, but I'll explain both. So the neck width is 3 inches, neck depth is 1 inch. So you connect this well with your armhole curve. So for the zipper allowance, extend it. You can see the dots line. Okay, blend it properly. This well. You can see to the zipper allowance. So to check, I just have 1 inch neck depth for the back panel. So extend it this way to your zipper allowance if you're working with a zipper. So this is it. So it's time to place the waist dart. First, step down from the chest line by an half inch, working with waist dart of 1 inch on both pieces, that's an half inch on each piece. So you connect this well to your waistline, so to your hemline as well. Decide to connect it straight this way. That is to maintain that half inch, or you go in towards your M line, direct your M line, that is that line like what we have here. So you can see how beautiful it looks already. But note the front panel, we added 2 inches dart replacement, that is DR. So for the back, we'll be subtracting that 1 inch because we are making use of just 1 inch as our dart allowance. So we say, place it this way. Or better, let me place it this way. That place your measurement 10.5 inches for better understanding. So you see 10.5 inches. So there is no dart replacement. The waistline is 9.5 inches. Sorry, it's 9 inches. The hem part, that is the hemline, so 9 inches plus 1 inch with a dart replacement. This hem line is 9.5 inches. Note we didn't add any dart there, so you connect it this way, or you just cut it like what I'm doing guys, this way. So guys, for the zipper, my camera couldn't capture that part, but I will explain it so you can see what we have. So for our waistline, I went in by 1 inch. But first, let me label it for better understanding. Our waistline, our hem line, our chest line, okay? So for the waist, our waistline, I went in by 1 inch, okay? So that our zipper will sit properly when we are through facing it. So for this part, I just connect it to the hemline. But if you are working with half cut, that would maybe gown with half cut, so you stop at the waistline and add your seam allowance. So guys, let's quickly cut it out this way. You can see how beautiful and easy it is. So excuse me, this I should cut out your dart replacement this way. So after fixing your zipper, it will sit properly. So notice the waistline for those that are working with half bodies. So it ends on your waistline. But for those that will be working with an inbuilt, decide to extend to your hip line. That is your hemming. That is the full length of your uh, top or your blouse. So I've sent our zipper allowance in for those that are working loops. So I'll be placing 2 inches. So you decide to work with 1.5 inches. So it's optional, okay? So I'll place 2 inches. So by the time I open it up, I'll be having 4 inches. For the hemline, we decide to place 1 inch or place the same 2 inches. You connect this with your straight row. So guys, I had to really check my camera. So now for the neck, for the yoke, that is neckline for the yoke, you can see we have already placed our neck width. So you connect this way. Note that 2 inches I will place, we'll be cutting it out. So decide to make it like a keyhole. So the back neck depth is optional. Okay, you can see what we have here. So if you decide to step down from this chest line by 1 inch or a 0.5 inch. So mine, I'm placing 1 inch. So you connect it straight this way. You can see how pretty it looks. Place ignore my marker. So you connect it. So your yoke will start from that 1 inch that you step down with from your chest line. So with the keyhole, it's still the same method. So guys, I'm sorry I'm rechecking my camera because of what transpired during the zipper part. So you can see whatever we have here, guys, there's no seam allowance. So this is our back yoke. So what transfer to our fabric, we add our seam allowance. So you can see, but I don't usually work with darts while making loops. Yes. So if you are working with that, make sure you add your DR, that is your dart replacement. So indicate it in a way that it will be easy for you to identify the hemming part and the chest line. Okay. So guys, let's quickly now introduce our front yoke. You can see how it looks. As I've opened it up now, for those that are working zipper, you will go with the first one. For loops, it's the second method. So this is it. And please, if you find this very interesting, like, share. So part 2 of this tutorial, I'll be uploading it soon. That is the stitches. Okay. So this is how it should look like. This is for loops, those that are working on loops. Okay, this is for those that are working with zipper. You can see the zipper allowance. So guys, this is all for this tutorial. But first, let me quickly cut it out. So you can see the neck depth for the back pattern is optional. So I'm cutting out from that 2 inches. I'm making use of loops. So I'm making for zipper is the first method. So here is going off. Okay. So now is the neck depth for the back panel. So I'm working with the 1 inch away from the chest line. You see how slanty it is to my armhole. So for the dart, if you are cutting out your dart, make sure you add the DR, that replacement. Mine is straight. Okay, this way. So you can also go ahead and add more dart line to give you that structure. Okay, it's optional. So because I'm not making use of that, guys, you can see I'm cutting out the dart replacement. So you can see how I will put to indicate it for easy sewing. So this is the back panel, while this is the front panel. You can see how beautiful it looks. So guys, please do not forget to share this video, like, comment to help this channel to grow, and please, if you are new to this channel, kindly subscribe. Okay, so we're cutting out each piece into two, the lining and the main fabric. So guys, see you all in next class. I love you all. I remain your favorite fashion instructor, Chi Living Signature. Bye.